Okay, so here's the deal. This guy on Discord keeps trying to message people, but each time someone accepts his friend request, the moment he starts a conversation, the person he's messaging gets a knock on the door and types BRB or back in a sec or sometimes just a simple hang on. Only thing is, they never come back. He doesn't know what happens to them. Never gets enough details to figure out any real names or where they live or hell even who's knocking. Just that someone's at their door. Knock knock. Then, boom, gone, ghosted. Now I'm about to find out why. See, I'm the next guy to chat with him. He claims that he wants to hire me to solve the mystery, and he's promised me $50 if I can tell him who's at the door. Him.
It's always within the first 5 minutes.
Me. So, someone's gonna knock on my door and make me disappear?
I mean, yeah, that's what keeps happening. Well,
So, how many people so far?
8.
You sure you're not just accidentally disconnecting?
I'm sure. You'll definitely disappear.
But if I don't, you'll Venmo me the $50, right?
Yeah, just tell me why everyone else vanishes.
I checked my watch. Only a sucker would believe him. But just call me Jack Sucker Wild. $50 is just big enough, and 5 minutes just short enough that even though I know I'm being strung along, I will linger like a jackal eyeing a plump bird overhead, waiting in the impossible hope that it'll fall from the sky. I ask him if he'll tell me anything about the 8 others who disappeared. He claims that he knows nothing about them except their usernames, which he can't exactly remember accurately. It's only been about 2 minutes so far. Me. Hey, kinda reminds me of a joke. Knock knock. Him.
Who's there?
Jack Juicy.
Jack Juicy who?
Course I don't see who. Nobody knocked yet.
Ugh, lol.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Jack Waddled Weed.
You only know jokes with your name in them? Jack Waddleweed who?
I told ya. We gotta wait till they knock.
Bro, stop!
I got a million of these. My favorite is actually a Britney one, like most of my material. It's not a Jack original. Wanna guess where I read it? I was just about to tell it anyway when my phone suddenly pings and... Nope. Nothing related to the knocking. It's just my girl asking how studying is going. I should probably get off Discord before she actually comes down here to the basement office to check on me, and I hover over the mouse to the chat to close it, keeping my eye on the clock. And right as I'm about to click, there's a knocking at my door. The number one rule of the paranormal is, it's not real like 99.9% of the time. Anyone telling you a ghost story is selling you a fiction. They might believe in that fiction themselves. In fact, that's why these things travel so well. Nothing sells like a lie like a true believer. But at the end of the day, the chain email is not going to curse you. The creepy doll is not going to come to life. And there will be nothing knocking at your door that will result in your sudden disappearance off the face of the earth. And Jack, you're never going to get that 50. So close that chat already. Without closing the chat, I get up and go to the stairs to the door so I can let my fiancé into the basement office. My girl, Emma, is a straight A overachiever, going for a master's in public policy. She promised we'll announce our engagement once I earned my GED, which is why I'm supposed to be studying. Me? Oh, I dropped out of high school, quick, and found my true calling, raising money for charity. Specifically, charity for yours truly. Yep, I'm a scam artist. Spent the better part of a decade involved in everything from catfishing to setting up GoFundMes that just fund me. Only degree that I ever got was in BS. Now, my girl wants me to go to business school and get an actual degree. I reformed before I met her. Straightened out a couple summers ago after karma slammed me into a coma. Nothing like a near-death experience to make a man reevaluate his choices. So, the real reason I stayed in the chat? No, it's not for that 50. I stayed on the teensiest chance that people really are disappearing. Because this is my new charity work. This is how I'm gonna make up for my misdeeds. I save people as a paranormal investigator, which, as I mentioned, 99% of the time was just about uncovering scams. No way this dude's actually legit. Everyone he chats with disappears in 5 minutes. 8 people, and no one noticed the connection. Come on. But also, what kind of sucker would I be to make it 9? Babe? I rap my knuckles on the door and grip the knob. Want to hear a joke? I wait. And wait. Pretending not to notice the goosebumps on my arm. Pretending not to feel the cold knot of dread forming in my gut when she doesn't answer. And then I let the knob slide back into its closed position, drop down, and I peek under the door. There was no feet. Hell, not even a shadow. No one was there. I trot back downstairs and type. Me. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Why don't you tell me, bud? There's knocking on my door. Want to explain what's really out there? And why you keep luring people to it? Most entities that I've encountered follow specific rules. Since they don't belong in this world, they often require an invitation or summons. You're probably already pretty familiar with this concept through folklore. Stuff like vampires needing to be invited inside, or the devil needing to make a deal to swindle someone out of their soul. The reoccurring theme is that whatever terrible fate befalls the victim is in some way incurred, by spoken or an unspoken agreement. Like paranormal terms and conditions, almost. I accepted his friend request. Next came the knocking. And if I open the door, next comes my disappearance. Each step an invitation to the next. But what did I really invite? And what's this guy's connection to it?
Oh shit. There's knocking? For real? Rip, I guess. Lol.
And then he sent a ghost emoji. I peeked under the door, and no one's there.
Wait, shit, really? Oh my god, holy shit. You're the first person who hasn't ghosted me. Are you shitting me or is this for real?
Who are you? What's your real name?
I'm not comfortable giving my name out online.
Why the fuck are you luring people?
I'm fucking not, man. I'm just Tim. That's my real name, Tim. I'm just a dude. I have no idea why people get knocks on their doors after I friend them.
Well, meet me in video chat.
Yeah, sure, okay. Christ, yes. I want to know just as bad as you.
But the video call was all staticky. It was very difficult to make out this Tim. His room was dark, as if all the lights were off. Or else the video was just very low quality and the connection was fucking terrible. I cannot hear him speak at all. The knocking continues on my door to my basement office. I need names. Nothing but static. Look, I can't hear you. Just send screenshots of your previous chats and the 50.
Why do you need screenshots? Isn't that like a violation of privacy?
Do you want to know what's knocking or not? I replied aloud. Tim can obviously hear me and probably see me too, because he hems and haws and types out his response to me on the keyboard. It's not until I threaten to log off that he finally relents. $50 from some guy named Tim shows up in my account, followed by a series of screenshots. All of his conversations follow the exact same pattern as mine. A short exchange followed by a BRB, or hang on. The only variation is how he opens up with the conversation. Initially, beginning with, I'm looking to make friends. But as he gets ghosted, changes it up to, I'm trying to figure out why everyone disappears. At one point, he says, does everyone just hate me? Seems like just a regular lonely dude baffled by the world turning on him. He's pitiful enough in these conversations, I might assume it's his extreme social ineptitude that's putting people off. Except for the knocking. The knocking just won't quit. When I get up and walk over to the egress window to crack it open, the knocking at the top of the stairs moves to the nearby storage room door. And when I get up to take a leak, the knocking goes to the bathroom door, barring me from getting in to use the toilet. Good thing for me that I have a potted plant down here that needs watering. This is gonna get real inconvenient real fast. Jack, you're in trouble now. Sorry for the pun. I'd pee myself out, but as you know, I can't. And unless I can figure out who's behind this knocking, well, I'm next in line to disappear. So much for studying. My first and best play here is to learn what I can from the previous victims, and after rereading their chats, I start digging for deeper data. The first guy I identified is a 67-year-old boomer who uses the Discord handle Quentin S. And his real name is Quentin, and his password is almost certainly just password, or 03XXXXX, which is his birth date, that he also publicly shares, along with his address on white pages. Hell, he lives about an hour away from me. His last post was like a week ago, and friends of his are posting birthday wishes on his Facebook, asking about him. Though, there's nothing in local news about him being officially missing, as of yet anyway. The next user I identify is Foxfire, who uses the same username for her blog, which links to her Instagram, where she shares videos of herself, real name Lucia, walking her cat, Boo. From the landmarks in her videos, I find her address, and since she's the next suburb over, only about 12 minutes away, I call a lift. Lucia's conversation with Tim was 2 days ago, and there's no missing person reports for her either. While waiting for the lift, I search for the other users, trying to find any way that I can identify them quickly. The next to come up is another Discord user, Rosman, who I find via the same profile picture on Instagram as Rosman. She turns up in local news. Search for missing woman continues. I'll try to ID the other victims when my lift arrives. Since doors aren't exactly an option, I go out through the egress window. As I approach the lift, Is that rapping that I hear from inside? Muffled by the ambient noise of the wind? Just to be safe, I ask the driver to lower the passenger window so I can climb gracelessly in, my upper body collapsing into the seat and my legs kicking out like I'm stuck in a shitty sitcom. The only thing missing is a laugh track. The driver stares at me like I've lost my mind. Smile, Jack. Thumbs up. This is gonna be a great day. Lucia T lives in the lower level of a red brick duplex. It's an artsy neighborhood. Someone has written a poem in marker in an upper window of the duplex, and Boo, the cat, peers out at me from the curtains of a lower window. I ascend the front steps, only to be immediately exasperated because, like most duplexes, Lucia's has doors, and as soon as I approach, the knocking starts up. I back off and I head towards the windows, wrapping my knuckles on the frames and looking for any that might be open. I'm standing there with my hands cupped against the glass, peeking in like the dictionary definition of shady, when the front door opens and an old lady confronts me. It's Lucia's landlady and upstairs neighbor, Doreen, who, according to Lucia's Instagram, adores her cat Boo. I tell Doreen that I was passing by and that the cat was howling, and I looked in and saw what looked like someone passed out inside. It's a lie that I blurted out in the moment, sure, but I have what my girl calls puppy eyes, sweet and earnest, and I turn on full labradoodle mode. My concern is contagious enough that Doreen wants to call the police, but I tell her that if the passed out person needs CPR, it might be too late if we wait. She can call while we quickly check. Doreen unlocks the door, seemingly to not notice the knocking. Nothing happens to her, which makes sense. She's not the invitee after all. Luce, she calls. Hello, I call, following her in. Nothing but a cozy living room and a wide-eyed cat. While the landlady goes to check the bedroom, I unlatch a window and open it just a crack. We did not find Lucia. I'll apologize profusely to Doreen and tell her that I must have been imagining when I saw someone fall. I definitely heard a thud, but it must have been a cat. We go back outside, me babbling about how I'm so attuned to cats. I'm not. I'm more attuned to dogs. Dogs are objectively better. Hell, have you ever seen a guide cat for the blind? Of course not. Even cat fanatics know that cats are assholes who let a blind walk straight into walls. Anyway, we chatted a little longer, and I say goodbye and head on my way. Right back around to that window, slipping inside. And now, I snoop. What happened to Lucia? There was no buildup of mail outside. No evidence that she is, in fact, missing. But the cat's food and water bowls are empty, and the cat is absolutely hounding me, weaving at my feet. When I told the landlady that the cat was signaling me for help, I was lying. But now this distressed little animal genuinely did seem to be trying to tell me something important. Hey, buddy, where's Lucia? I asked. A dog would recognize the name and take off in search of its owner. But this cat, of course, does no such thing. Only meowing louder in my face, clawing at my jeans. Useless. I press my hand to the door, and all the hairs on my arm stand on the end. When I take my hand away, the hair settles. I'm not a medium. Not exactly. But ever since my first paranormal encounter, I've been attuned to the uncanny. My first encounter left me marked. That tends to happen when you catch the attention of the wrong entity. In my case, the marking is an ink tattoo of a lady in red on my left arm. She's a demon who's sworn to catch me and punish me for all my life's misdeeds, and sooner or later, she's inevitably how I'll die. Anyway, point is, I'm attuned to the paranormal, but I wasn't born with any real psychic gifts, if you even believe in that stuff. So, I have no way of knowing what's out there knocking on the door. I'm about 30 seconds away from opening it out of sheer curiosity, but my survival instinct and the fact that the cat vanishes the moment I grip the knob keep me from doing so. Instead, I sink down against the wall, tugging out my phone. Maybe the other victims can shed some light, and presto, when I search for Quentin, I found an update in the local news. Oakside man's body found in home. Cause of death unknown. Authorities are investigating the death of a 67-year-old Quentin S., whose body was found in the crawl space beneath the stairs of his home. So he didn't disappear. But then where's Lucia? According to the police report, a neighbor decided to check on Quentin after noticing that his front door was ajar. It was not clear how long Quentin had been dead. The neighbor told police that Quentin's mouth was wide open in a scream. In a subsequent interview, the neighbor, who asked to remain anonymous, saying he feared for his safety, said, "I can't stop thinking about it. The way his eyes were bulged out. Hell, I'll never forget. It looked like something chased him under the stairs and literally scared him to death." Huh. Well, good thing I didn't open it. I think, eyeing the front door of Lucia's unit, then chasing right on the heels of that thought. But what did he see that scared him to death? One of my best, or worst, qualities as an investigator is an insatiable curiosity, like an itch. Especially if warnings are blaring. Been like that since I was a kid. What's this red button do? Set off an alarm, and then I was grounded. What's in these confidential files on my dad's computer? Proof that he's cheating. And again, grounded. What happens if I sit in that cursed chair that kills everyone that sits in it? Actually, I haven't done that one yet, because Emma wouldn't let me. The chair is still on my bucket list, though, or as she calls it, my obscenely stupid list. I should probably check with my girl before I give in to the urge to do something obscenely stupid. But first, what happened to Lucia? Did she flee? I glanced around the living room, narrowing my eyes on a couple of envelopes on the table, right next to my fingertips. Letters. Like she was picking through the mail while opening the door. Dropped the mail in shock. Fear? And if this just dropped mail, then where'd she go? The front door is where it would have been, so she fled. She'd run to the bathroom. Or bedroom. I checked the bathroom, but it's tiny, and there was no one behind the shower curtain. Bedroom, then, at the end of the hall. Its door was open. The landlady already checked in there. Closet? But the closet had a sliding door, already ajar. I can see the cat pointing out. I pushed it further open to peer inside, but there was nothing but clothes and shoes. The cat. The cat is crying. The cat is clawing on my pant leg and looking at something. And I realize that the cat is looking at something under the bed. And I get that feeling, that sinking in my gut. My limbs get heavy, my heart beats suddenly slamming into my ears. The cat looks back at me now, and meows. And I don't hear him over the rush of my own blood. The apartment is empty except for me and this loudly screaming cat. I lift up the edge of the bed sheet and I drop down to my knees and peer under the bed. And here she is. Lucia. Mouth wide open in a shriek and body stiffened in the fetal posture of terror, hiding from whatever had entered when she opened that door. Quentin's neighbor didn't do the description justice. I'm huddled on the floor, holding the cat, and I can't breathe. My pulse is slamming out a rhythm with that knocking, and I can't tell anymore whether the pounding is from the door or from my heart. It's so fucking loud, and I can't breathe. Fuck. Why did I have to look at her face? Suddenly, I feel like such an idiot. Such a phenomenally hopeless idiot for all those knock jokes. Now I listen to that knocking, and all I can see is Lucia's eyes. The bloodshot whites and the way her jaw is all but unhinged in a shriek. Hell, you can practically hear. Hell, I think I can hear it. Somewhere beneath the knocking. Lord knows I've had my share of scares. I thought I knew terror, but whatever left Lucia like this, I can't meet it. I am not going to end up like her, with my face stretched in that god-awful sanity-shattering scream. No. I can't go out like that. Go away! I holler, not even caring if the landlady hears me now. I should have learned to listen to my girl's advice by now, which is to make up for my misdeeds in some ordinary way. Donate to good causes, volunteer, become a public servant for work, for an actual charity, or a cat rescue, or fuck, literally anything, as long as I'm not poking around in the paranormal. This morning the plan was so simple. All I had to do was pass my practice test for my GED and not friend some haunted dude on Discord. Emma's gonna be so pissed at me. And that's before she finds out what I did to her potted plant. Ugh. I guess just call me Brittany now. Knock. Who's there? Brittany. Brittany who? I fucked up, babe. Knock. Who's there? Brittany. Brittany who? Oops. I did it again.